Hey there traders, and welcome back for episode number 100 from the StockBandit.tv. It's a place you can always find trading videos to make you better, and I'm sure glad that you've joined me. So as we head into a brand new week of trading, it's time once again to pause and take a look at the major indices and see how things are shaping up. We know as traders that's going to have a big influence on how individual stocks move. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Dow, and we'll include some important levels here to keep an eye on in the days ahead. Of course, it is a market that's just been relentlessly climbing higher, and for the NASDAQ that means we've come back up here to challenge this 2150 area that was very important last year. Of course, after we cracked through that, it really paved the way for some significant downside. So as we've rallied all the way back up to that area, obviously last week closing at 2132, we're extremely close to that 2150 area, and I expect that to be an important zone here. It's been respected here in the past couple of days, but this market has also made a tremendous move just off the low set earlier this month. We broke out from this channel right here. This was a rising channel already, and we've accelerated out of that to the upside. However, we have yet to clear that 2150 area. We're just kind of hovering beneath it for now. And I think that's worth noting here, especially given how far we've traveled. This index for the past 11 days has made about a 9% run, a little over 9% from this low right here. So that's a significant move, really without any rest. Obviously on Friday we saw an inside day, and that came with very big volume. That was of course tied to option expiration day. But essentially that just produced a lot of churning action in the market, and so we made no meaningful progress either way. We did see some minor gains, but again we stayed within the boundaries of Thursday's trading range. So I think this market is acting a little bit tired here. That's a logical spot to be doing it, right up here near 2150, but for now we're seeing no pullback and just a very minor rest. If we did see a little bit of selling pressure, that would actually be very healthy for this market, because indices and stocks that get too stretched in one direction, ultimately, when they do turn, tend to do it much more sharply than if they rally and rest. And so some rest at this point before we get too far up there without resting would be a very good thing to see. For the S&P 500, the key level for this index last fall was the 1100 area. Once we broke through that to the downside, we saw, of course, everything accelerate going down. Well, we've rallied back up. We're not too far from that area at this point. We finished at 1068 last week, so if I zoom in here, once again the action is very encouraging. However, in the short term we're very stretched. We've got a higher low here compared to the previous dip, and we also cleared resistance, and so we did break out from this ascending triangle pattern. That's very bullish and certainly encouraging, and you know, we saw that with much better volume post Labor Day. However, in the near term, once again, we've become very stretched here, and it's time for this index to start putting in some kind of rest. Whether that happens starting on Monday or whether it takes a few more days to get it, we don't know yet. But it's after a run like this that some kind of profit taking or digestion is going to be needed, and so I do expect to see that at some point. The farther that we get away from this low that we just recently set without resting, then of course this thing could correct a little bit more sharply once it finally does. But Friday's option expiration volume obviously very high, and so yet once again inside bar, no meaningful progress really made over the past couple of sessions. For the Dow, 9800 was a very important zone, and that was the bounce high that we made last October. We broke this 10,400 area. We sold off very sharply and then saw a very quick bounce back up to the 9,800 area. Well, that's what we're flirting with right here. Obviously, we've cleared that, but we're not really getting a long way from it. We're just a short distance above that as of Friday's close. Here again, inside day last week, to finish out on Friday, and very big volume tied to options expiration. But once again, we've got higher lows in place in the near term. We did break out through this resistance area, so the trend is up. However, in the near term, getting pretty stretched here. Haven't seen hardly any rest or pullback type of action. At some point, that's going to be needed if we're going to see this index make a push on up toward that 10,400 zone. That's the next important area. So really, it's a market where the trend is up. We want to respect that as traders. Trade in the direction of the trend, but do so very cautiously at this point, at this exact point, because this market is just very extended. It's tough to chase stocks higher, knowing that those who have been long, who've owned stocks all along, now have some added incentive to book some profits. Okay. Have a great week of trading. I will be back soon with more videos. Thanks for joining me once again. Until I see you again, trade like a bandit.